The University of Bristol has banned the public from a feminist society's event with a lawyer critical of the controversial charity Stonewall. When students invited Akira Reindorf to the event, it prompted bosses to limit who attended and asked Women Talk Back, the group behind the debate, to cover half of the security costs. With the event on the brink of being cancelled, the Free Speech Union funded a venue off campus. Education Minister Claire Coutinho has led the backlash to the conditions imposed by the university. She said, learning how to have civil discussions about things we disagree upon is central to the university experience. You would have thought so. Anyway, writer and campaigner Raquel Rosario Sanchez, who organised the talk, joins me now in the studio. Welcome to the show. So, Raquel, we should probably start at the beginning. So you organised this event through your feminist society.
Absolutely.
And this is Akira Reindorf, who is a lawyer, who had previously criticised the University of Essex for their decision to no platform certain academics, one of whom, Joe Phoenix, was on this show. So you wanted to hear her speak, effectively.
Yes, it was simply an event with lawyers, barristers and solicitors to talk about women's rights. And there was nothing, it wasn't an event to talk specifically about trans issues, it was about women's rights. And we thought, when we've organized other events before that have been open to the public. And when we organized one that was just lawyers, we thought it was going to be a straightforward process and that it was going to be so easy. And this was the most challenging event that we have put together because it was very clear early on that the university did not want us there.
And they've said that this is to do with security, right? Now, this often when we get these no platformings, these people being disinvited, security seems to be the excuse.
Yes, it seems that senior management at universities and also student unions, they're just looking for excuses to make sure that free speech does not take place. So they go through a long list of restrictions to see what can we put in place to make sure that this doesn't go ahead. And in our event, they claim that there could be backlash and public disorder from the students' trans activists. And my response is well, control your trans activists, control your students to make sure that the event goes ahead, and that didn't happen.
But surely there must be some kind of punishment for students that kick off, shall we say. If they're going to cause a violent spectacle, they're the problem.
I would say so, but, based on my own experience as a student at the University of Bristol and what we have witnessed trans activist students do inside and outside campus, the university really has sympathies with the protesters and not with everyone else. And to the point that they have gone to court and argued that they do not have a duty of care to those people who are targeted, for example, feminists like me. Instead, they have a duty of care to everyone else.
So that's very much the university taking a side
yes.
on that particular ideological issue.
Yes.
Whereas, of course, they've got a duty to care to everyone, you would have thought.
I would have thought.
Why, though, Akira Reindorf, a lawyer, why is this individual so controversial to the activists?
I have no idea. And you know what? On Friday night, because we were able to find a second venue, we have two scenarios taking place in Bristol. We had a meeting, a sensible, somber meeting with feminist lawyers talking about women's rights. Aqua's speech was about migrant women and the exploitation that they often face and how they're incredibly vulnerable. I mean, it had nothing to do with controversy. So we were able to hold this event. It was a lively discussion. It was women engaging, the public engaging. And then on the other side, we had trans activist students roaming around the campus of the University of Bristol looking for women to abuse. And instead of supporting the lawyers and the women who are just trying to meet to talk about their rights, the university sides with the protesters.
So is this related to the report that Akira Reindorf wrote about Stonewall when it came to the University of Essex deplatforming two academics because of threats from trans activists? Akira Reindorf wrote that actually they were wrong in their decision and that they shouldn't have deplatformed this, and also that Stonewall might have misled them to believe that they should be deplatforming people for reasons of equality. Is that what this is really about?
The layers of irony in this story are just too much, because you would have thought, we thought that the university would be proud that, students brought Akira Reindorf and these amazing lawyers who are highly respectable women at the top of their profession, but it turns out that they felt something else. And yes. I think that the irony is really interesting because trans activist organizations like the controversial charity Mermaids, which is currently being investigated by the Charity Commission, they have been on campus, open to the public, having all of these events with the liberty that they should be having this event. But meanwhile, feminists trying to meet to discuss their rights, somehow we are beyond the pale and restrictions have to be put in place.
So it's interesting. I mean, I'm all for peaceful protest. I think people should be able to protest for whatever they want. When it comes to threatening and harassment and abuse and shutting things down forcibly, that's as far as I'm concerned, takes a step too far. Is there just a major problem with free speech on campuses now?
Absolutely. And I think that what happened on Friday with respect to the University of Bristol is an example that before it used to be, well, you have feminists who advocate for sex-based rights and trans activist protesters, but the universities are trying to just like keep this balance. Now there is no balance. Now it is academic institutions clearly siding with people who want to shut down free speech and the freedom of assembly of women.
And like you say, when you have these other groups, they're not attacked, they're not abused, and they're not shut down.
And obviously women are not going to go to those events trying to shut it down. We enable those discussions. We want people to talk about trans rights the way that they see fit. We want to encourage a climate in which these topics can take place. But the other side of the debate, they do not want debate to take place. And they want not only to shut down conversations about trans rights, but shut down conversations about women's rights in general in the law, which is what our event was about.
And do you see things getting better anytime soon?
I thought that they would be better. I genuinely thought, I have been organizing events and trying to do my work and my activism at the University of Bristol for a number of years, and I genuinely thought that things would improve and be better. And I'm taken aback, and I'm surprised that it seems that things have become more contentious and worse.
Raquel Rosario Sanchez, thanks so much for joining me tonight. Really appreciate it. So, a University of Bristol spokesperson has said, "We are firmly committed to upholding freedom of speech and welcome members of our community to invite a wide range of speakers onto our campus. We also have a duty to ensure events are carried out in a safe manner which doesn't endanger others." The spokesperson added, "The event was approved, but as related Women Talk Back events have previously attracted significant protest and disorder, we decided additional security was required and that admission should be restricted to staff and students only." So that's their statement, in the interests of balance. But look,